Hey everyone, today's project is going to be mounting this propane tank to the bottom of our van. So in our last van we had an S-bar gas heater which was plumbed directly into the gas tank. In order to alleviate some reliability issues, we're going to go ahead and install a Propex heater which requires a propane tank on this van. So we have purchased the 3.3 gallon propane tank that's typical on a Westfalia Vanagon van, and we're going to mount it underneath the Promaster van in between two of the struts that are on the bottom. What we're going to do is we purchased a 3-foot section of flat aluminum strapping. We've cut that in half and we've traced out the mounting brackets from the tank on here, so we're going to be drilling some holes in those. Those are going to lie flat in the ridges of the van floor, and we're going to go ahead and put a bolt in from the top through this, through the van floor, through the mounting bracket that's welded onto the tank, and then put a locking washer and nut on the bottom. So we're going to show you how to do that. This tank came with a couple scratches on it, so we've painted that with some Rust-Oleum paint. We don't really care what it looks like since it's going to be on the bottom of the van. Should be an interesting project today.
We're under the van now. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is hold the tank up in the location we're doing it. We are going behind the muffler. There's a small gap. It fits pretty well perfect here. If you go further back, there is a bunch of the e-brake stuff in the way and whatnot, and a lot of cross members. So this is the most logical place that we could find. We found another guy that had done it here and it worked well for him. We also have a heat shield coming for the muffler just because I prefer it to be a little extra safe. I don't know if it's overkill or not. Also, we are not professionals, so do your own research. This is what we found best. So we're going to hold it up where we want it. We're going to mark our holes with a marker, and then we're going to drill from the bottom up. And then we will go in, put the bolts up the opposite way, and mark where that's going to be on our aluminum that we had just cut. And then drill those out, and then just mount it up.
Okay.
Oh, I got keys in my pocket too. Okay.
So before we get it up there, we're looking to have this one here, right? Because we want
Yep.
it to be in the low spot on this
Yep.
ridge, and this one here, I believe.
Yep.
Okay.
That is the goal. So let's just get it up there.
Go left.
Which left?
Your
Driver's
left.
side or well, what's left? Is this left or is this
No,
left?
your physical left. I guess you're not
I'm
laying the same
facing
way
the
as me.
opposite way.
I mean, you're not, but towards the driver's side door.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
And so I think
I'm good here. We are using a punch to create a small divot.
see dents on the top. All right, you're clear on the top?
Yep.
I put a hole in the van.
How's that feel?
Hopefully good here in a minute. No.
It's pretty thin, I think. Alright.
Pilot holes from the bottom. Now we're making them bigger from the top. Careful when you do it on the bottom. These metal shavings are hot. And they hit me in the face. Yeah, I don't want you to shade that out. Good?
Yeah.
That's a big hole.
Harder?
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
Seemed like I had to push really hard.
All right, now that we got the holes dialed, we double checked the propane tank from the top to make sure all the bolts went through. And then we take our 18-inch aluminum, we set it down on our holes here, centered with the overlap. And then Jess went under and put little permanent marker marks. So you got little dots here, which should be on center. And we're gonna drill those out. The only reason we're doing these is to give extra support. Once again, might be overkill, but the actual propane tank itself has 11 inches, which is in between two cross members. So we went 18 inches here, so the weight's actually pulling down on two cross members that are under the van. So it should distribute the weight more. So we're gonna go ahead and drill the holes in these. We're gonna paint the holes that we created with some Rust-Oleum, just so it doesn't rust out. We'll drill the holes, mount it up, and then the last thing we're going to do after it's all done, we're going to spray the bottom of the bolts with some, I don't even know what it's called.
It's like undercarriage rust preventative.
Undercarriage rust prevention. Something similar to like the Rhino liner stuff. We'll show you what it is when we get it.
So again, using a little metal awl to create a divot in the middle. Just helps the drill bit stay in place and not bounce around as much when you start drilling.
Whoa. Snap.
Alright.
Okay. Well, should we use the press?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. We're going to use a drill press so that doesn't happen more. So we came in and we set these down, put the bolts down through. So now we're going to go down to the bottom for one last time and do some lock washers and nuts. Just make sure it fits, and then we'll probably put some thread lock on these and make sure it's not going to come undone. Another one.
Okay.
But just get it over here. So, socket there, and then let's I know if it's spinning. So now that we have it up, we're taking down one at a time, putting the thread lock.
Taking one nut off at a
Taking
time.
one nut off at a time, putting a little thread lock in it, and then putting it back up. And then you're definitely going to tighten this one from the top, because I can't get it. Hopefully I can get the wrench in there, period.
Okay. Ready?
Yep. she's tightening from the top on, hold a wrench on the bottom. Okay, and repeat that for the last two.
Alright, she's tight.
Well folks, that concludes the install video of a 3.3 gallon Manchester tank, propane tank, on a 2019 Promaster. If you have any questions, let us know. We'd love to hear comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. Keep an eye out for the rest of the build videos. As you can see, pretty empty still, so there's gonna be a lot more videos coming. We are just doing this in whatever order product comes and makes sense. So this is our first build that we're building, and we are just figuring it out.
We're winging it.
We're kind of winging it with a general idea.
Overall, I'd say that task was relatively easy. We just made sure to measure and test fit about 4 or 5 times before actually cutting or drilling holes.
Yeah.
And then, like Greg said, we'll show you guys the undercarriage of the vehicle once everything's mounted. And we have that automotive rust inhibitor on the bottom. But
yeah, that'll be a separate video because I don't think we're gonna have it for a while. We got to do the rust inhibitor and the fill kit, which we looked up. It's like $200, so kind of crazy for 2 hoses. Yikes. But I think we got to do it.
Yeah.
And then plumbing the lines later when we have a stove and the heater installed. So there's still more to come on the propane job. This was probably the easiest part of it, but you can do it. Thanks again.
Thanks.